overlooking Omaha Beach. And right now, a D-Day ceremony is being held at the World War II Memorial in Trenton, New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy is expected to deliver remarks commemorating the solemn day. Let's listen in.
If I missed anyone, I do apologize. Before we get into the next event in today's ceremony, I ask for a round of applause for the American Bombshells, who did a great medley of 40 songs before our ceremony started. We will hear again later from them in the program. Now we'll have an audio of D-Day from some of our greatest generation.
What D-Day was like in the air you can't believe. Later that day I escorted the gliders across the channel, and that was heartbreaking. We released the gliders, they had no place to land. Situation on the ground, the poor gliders hit the ground below, and the lights, and everybody in it had broke my heart. And you could see what was happening on the ground, on the water's edge, with the boats were on fire and troops all over the place. It broke my heart. Still does.
I then took my steel jacket off, wrapped it around the gun stock of my submachine gun, and smashed all 5 sights of those guns as Jack was washing over me. And the Germans never even knew that Jack and I were in their midst that far. And they never did catch us or see us or whatever. I went back to Jack, I said, we gotta go back to the roadblock and get some more grenades. I got 3 guns that I couldn't do anything with. So by 8:30, D-Day morning, the mission had been accomplished. Guns had been found and destroyed and rendered useless.
You prayed every night, every minute you were there. That's what you were scared all the time. You always was afraid. Don't let them only what they show on them. You're always afraid. I don't care who you are. You're human. You gotta be afraid. Yeah, I was real lucky. Every night in my prayers, I prayed for everybody.
They teach you to be positive, which was good. You'd never know if you're going to be able to kill anyone. It's always a doubt. You're not, your morals are not that way. But you have your doubts. And then the time came when once you're in there, they shoot at you, it becomes very easy. So one of the troopers asked, what if the invasion is a failure? The intelligence officer told us it won't be a failure. He said, but if it is, you do the best you can. Don't get captured. Give the enemy as much trouble as you can. And try to contact the French underground. And you work with them. So that was something to think about. Luckily, it was a success.
D-Day was like in the air you can't.
You heard the voices of Jerome McCabe, Army Air Force pilot, Bud Lamel, Army Ranger, William Jackson, Army Infantryman, Alex DeSanto, Army Airborne. It is now my honor to introduce the next speaker, a New Jersey native, Brigadier General Wayne McKay, enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1983 and joined the Army National Guard in 1990. He received this commission through the Academy of Military Science, McGee Tyson Air National Guard, based in Knoxville, Tennessee. His experience in the New Jersey Air National Guard consists of assignments at the 108th Air Refueling Wing at McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. As commander of the 108th Communications Flight, Exercise Evaluation Team Chief, and Deputy Mission Support Group Commander, he also continued his career as Director of Staff, Air, at the Joint Force Headquarters. He serves as the Director of Joint Staff for New Jersey National Guard, where he is responsible for the administration, planning, development, execution, and supervision of all joint staff and family programs. This includes the preparation of state contingency operations requiring alert, mobilization, deployment, and employment of National Guard assets for federal and state emergency missions. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the Director of the Joint Staff for the New Jersey National Guard, Brigadier General Wayne McKay.
Well, good morning. On behalf of Brigadier General Jamal J. Beal, the Adjutant General of the great state of New Jersey, and the 8,400 soldiers and airmen of the New Jersey National Guard, and the 340,000 veterans in New Jersey, it's my honor to be here. One of the reasons America is the greatest nation on earth is because we never ever forget those who gave their lives serving our country. This observance of the 75th anniversary of D-Day and your attendance today is proof of that. To those that have made the ultimate sacrifice, we owe no small gesture of gratitude and recognition of your selfless service. They are our most precious national resource. I appreciated hearing the oral history from some of our World War II veterans. I could not help but reflect on the fact that the way we fight wars has drastically changed in the last 75 years. During World War II, soldiers charged the beaches of Normandy and parachuted behind enemy lines in Europe, while service members today are engaged in urban operations in towns and cities around the Middle East. During World War II, the Air Force didn't even exist, and it was up to the Army Air Forces to lead the effort in the air, where today every branch of the services have air capabilities. During World War II, we could easily identify our enemy by their uniforms and their weapons. Today, we have challenges as we deal with the invisible adversaries with the intent of crippling our infrastructure in cyberspace. The one thing that hasn't changed is the National Guard. We continue to serve our communities, assisting civilian authorities before, during, and after natural disasters and identified states of emergency, while continuing our federal mission and responsibilities. Since World War II, we have advanced in technology, weaponry, and the landscape in which we have fight has changed. But even though 75 years separates the generations of soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines, there's one thing that remains the same: the spirit of our service members. Soldiers and airmen of the modern New Jersey National Guard continue to raise their right hands with the expectations that they will deploy, fight, and win the nation's wars, just like the veterans of World War II, who we can trace our unit's lineage back to. Even though there is apprehension and fear of the unknown, they still forge ahead, just like the veterans of previous wars. And the reason's pretty simple. It's because with American service member, there is one constant: the American fighting spirit. It's because of the belief of people always. The New Jersey National Guard remains committed to the tradition of service to state and nation. Our Department of Military and Veterans Affairs remains committed to giving back to our service members and veterans by ensuring access to services and benefits that they need and have earned. A priority of DMAVA is to act as a conduit to so many of our brothers and sisters, ensuring their connection to quality benefits, health care, and entitlements. Now, it is my privilege to introduce to you the Commander-in-Chief of the Soldiers and Airmen of the New Jersey National Guard. Governor Phil Murphy, after a successful business career, went on to serve as the United States Ambassador to Germany from 2009 to 2013. He was directly responsible for promoting American interests and diplomatic relations overseas. Now, as the governor, he is committed to making New Jersey better for our veterans in the Garden State. He supports initiatives dedicated to providing family assistance, health care, employment assistance, and property tax relief to service members and veterans throughout the state. In addition, he has recently expanded his commitment to service members and veterans in two ways. First, he implemented the We Value Our Veterans Community Award, which recognizes municipalities that have demonstrated their commitment to honoring our New Jerseyans who have answered the call to arms in defense of American values. Second, he is supporting the designation of June 12th of each year as Women's Veterans Appreciation Day in New Jersey, which will be commemorated next week. Ladies and gentlemen, the 56th Governor of New Jersey, Governor Philip D. Murphy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day. Thank you, Brigadier General McKay, for your introduction and your kind words and for your service. I want to echo, without going name by name, the extraordinary group of folks up on the dais with me. I want to echo as well the elected officials with us today. I think we've got a couple that did not get recognized. Assemblyman Bruce Land, who's a big leader on veteran affairs. So Bruce, great to have you. And I believe we missed in from Hudson County, Pedro Mejia. Pedro, great to have you. I extend my gratitude to all in attendance today, and let us once again applaud our brave servicemen and women. Your love of country and commitment to service knows no bounds, and we in our nation are eternally in your debt. So all veterans here today, but especially veterans from World War II, God bless you all and thank you. We are here today to commemorate and honor the soldiers, in particular from New Jersey, who set out from the beaches of Great Britain for what Supreme Allied Commander General Dwight David Eisenhower called this great and noble undertaking. Fatigued by the severity of war and facing overwhelming odds, the Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy 75 years ago today. And we all know their names: Gold, Juno, Sword, Utah, and especially Omaha. In the dim light of that early morning, our brave soldiers steered the turbulent waters of the English Channel. And by the way, I might add, just preceding them, 18,000 parachuters parachuting behind enemy lines in the middle of the night. Some clutched their equipment, others prayed and kissed pictures of loved ones, many for the last time. It is impossible for us to measure or even accurately conceptualize the totality of bravery that was on those landing crafts. The foundation of our way of life and the future of free peoples across Europe and beyond rested with these American and Allied soldiers preparing to face battle. These brave Americans and Allies would go on to climb the steep cliffs of Normandy in pursuit of reclaiming the European mainland from Hitler's war machine and to keep the world free of fascist tyranny. By the end of the day, 155,000 soldiers had stormed the beaches. Less than 1 year later, Nazi Germany would crumble, closing the Eastern Front permanently and extinguishing one of the greatest evils this world has known. It ended in Berlin in May of 1945. Having represented, as Walter mentioned and as General McKay mentioned, our country as U.S. ambassador to the Federal Republic of Germany, and having done so in Berlin, it is hard to fathom that it took but 11 months from D-Day to VE Day to defeat Adolf Hitler and all that he embodied. Today, we thank those in particular from New Jersey who carried out this noble fight. These heroes gave us the opportunity to shape our world with altruistic principles, where women and men could live free of oppression and fear. Without the courage of our greatest generation, the ideals of the American dream, liberty and freedom, could have very well been extinguished. Our fellow New Jerseyans sacrificed so that these ideals could remain paramount. I think about the parents who never saw their children again, the wives who wouldn't grow old with their husbands, and the children who never knew their fathers. I think about those soldiers' children and their children's children, confronted with a world that evades their control, enemies that lack allegiance or identity, and a future that often appears as daunting as it does promising. Let us draw on the bravery of the soldiers who were in victory at Normandy beaches 75 years ago and use it to face our current challenges. Today, we reaffirm the debt we owe these soldiers, a promise that we will never allow the world to plunge into the darkest tyranny of naked, racist fascism, and to uphold democracy and equality, whatever the cost. We owe it to the world to ensure freedom on days of clear skies like this and on days filled with storms. We owe that to those soldiers and their families left behind. We owe it to ourselves to protect the principles for which they fought. Bless you. By the way, Assemblyman Dan Benson has joined us. Dan, great to have you with us. I leave you today with a prayer offered by President Franklin Roosevelt on the night of the invasion, and it's a prayer that President Trump quoted from, a different part of which yesterday. O Lord, give us faith. Give us faith in Thee, faith in our sons, faith in each other, faith in our united crusade. Let not the keenness of our spirit ever be dulled. Let not the impacts of temporary events, of temporal matters, of but fleeting moment, let not these deter us in our unconquerable purpose. May God bless our veterans and all who have served, including those who rest eternal. May God bless all of those who serve us today for the peace and security of the United States of America and our shared ideals. And may God continue to bless the great state of New Jersey and the United States of America. Thank you. So Walter reminds me that we've got a proclamation here today to, I won't read all the details, but the punchline is, now therefore I, Philip D. Murphy, Governor of the State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim June 6, 2019 as D-Day Remembrance Day in New Jersey to pay our respect for our noble World War II veterans for their dutiful service to our flag and country. Again, God bless our veterans. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to once again introduce the American Bombshells, who will perform the Armed Forces Medley, followed by God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, everywhere we go, the American Bombshells always sing the Armed Forces Gravestone songs to honor our heroes. So please, when you hear your flags, clap, wave, and sing along and be recognized for your service.
On behalf of the American Bombshells and this great nation, thank you for your service.
We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in Thee. Through howling hail and shot and shell to win our victory. Semper Paratus is our guide, our pledge, our motto too. We're always ready to our night. High Coast Guard, we fight for you. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come.
We've been watching a ceremony to mark the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion when Allied soldiers stormed the beach at Normandy, France. Governor Murphy, along with other officials and also veterans, gathered at the World War II Memorial in Trenton to mark the day. They honored soldiers from New Jersey who were involved in the invasion by sharing some of their stories. Governor Murphy says we owe it to those soldiers and their families to protect the principles of democracy and promise something like this will never happen again. Right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on CBSN New York.